That was the other thing we forgot, the dog leg.
Forgot. Oh, yeah.
We have one.
We had a dog leg. That's an important thing to remember.
It is.
And yeah, we were halfway there.
I told her I could make one.
No. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. We went on vacation. We're gonna share a little bit of what we did in Cooks too. What we did on vacation. We had a blast. We went to Delaware to FireFly Music Festival and a couple stops in between. And I am fortunate enough that Big Daddy's gonna be in on the commentary with me, taking a little bit of break from work because he was on vacation with me. So you need to hear his side of it as well. And Cooks is just gonna chime in because she has a voice and she feels she needs to use it. See?
Getting contribution of the day.
Yes. We left on Tuesday, September 20th. By the time we got to the camper and got hooked up and back on the road, it was probably after 11 by this point. And we had a Quody Fingers GPS 6-hour drive ahead of us, which turned into a little over 8. On that drive, we went through
the ocean.
the ocean. So we went through Virginia, we went through Maryland. The bridge tunnel was so cool. 17 miles across, Chesapeake Bay. The tunnel is 75 foot down. So as you're going across, your 4 lanes all the way across this bridge, and you see like the big freighters and everything going out there, and then, you know, just pleasure crafts and stuff and people fishing along the bridge. And then you see the signs that like the left lane's gonna go away and you're going into 2 lanes, and then you go down into the tunnel.
Well, there was a ton of construction too.
Yeah, there was.
We ended up going through.
There was.
Nothing that stopped you, but there was a lot of going 10, 15 under.
Yeah. And for semis, that bridge is, or that tunnel,
just tall enough.
It looks like that much clearance.
Yeah.
It's probably more.
Yeah.
But it looks like this. And you're in there. Like, these people are coming this way and you're going this way. And it's just,
inhale.
Yeah.
Hold your breath.
Yeah, exactly. Don't sneeze. Yeah. When we left, super ecstatic. Because we had a very short leg of the trip to pick up the camper, and then we left from there to go to Seashore State Park in Delaware. That was our first stop. We stayed on the South Inlet. We got there late. We got there pushing dark, so it was like 7 o'clock when we got there. Luckily it was a pull through, so we just drove through, leveled it up, dropped it off, turned the lights on, and we were there. And we were there for Tuesday and Wednesday. We didn't leave until Thursday morning. We were like right under this gorgeous bridge, and we were walking distance. When I say like 100 yards or less to the sound. And there was people like fishing on the bridge, and then you just walk.
With crazy currents.
Oh yeah.
Going up that channel or whatever where the ocean turns into, it's right on the corner there.
Yeah. And then 100 yards from like a walk over to, I don't know, I guess the sound. And then, or the inlet. And then make a right turn and go another 100 yards and you're standing at the ocean. So we walked down the beach. We picked up shells. I picked up rocks. There was people fishing, people swimming. It was gorgeous. It was just so relaxing to walk down the beach. Wednesday we did have a couple of errands we had to run, so while we were driving around we knew we was going to have seafood for dinner, but we ran across Friendly's. We haven't been to a Friendly's.
And it's so contagious, like it was so intoxicating. We went into Friendly's like, oh my gosh, we're going to get a Friendly's burger, we're going to get a Fribble, we're going to get all this fun Friendly's stuff because we haven't had it in so long. And we got in there and they're like, we're like, but we really want to go for seafood, and I'm not going to be able to eat seafood if I eat all this crud.
Yeah. I mean, we wanted the ice cream and the mozzarella sticks.
So
and
what we get?
We get a hamburger, fries, and we split it. And our server,
she was so nice.
Was so awesome because we had talked about splitting it. When she came back, instead of just bringing one plate, she went ahead and cut the hamburger in half and split the fries between 2 plates. She wins. And then it was a early to bed. I think we were in bed by 8:30.
Almost the entire time outside of the festival.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as I could go to bed, I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Happy to get to sleep. It was nice. I was exhausted.
So the next morning was Thursday, which means FireFly, and we were about an hour south, and we were going to Dover to the Speedway. Yep. The Monster Mile is where we camped, and it was a gorgeous sunrise driving along the coast. Now the
question was, where do we go? And
yes.
That's like, I looked at the directions. There's no address in there to put into a GPS. I'm like, okay, it's at the Speedway, and you get there, and I'm looking at the little map they give you, and I'm like, okay, it looks like you got to go behind this big building to get in there. What's the big building? Google Maps it. It's the casino.
Valleys.
Okay, find the casino address, put that in the GPS. Again, trust the GPS. Yeah, so we get up there, we're driving down the road, and there's a sign, FireFly, all FireFly camping and RV, go this way.
So we turned.
All means all.
Yeah, we turned. Even though our GPS girl was like, stop, keep going straight. We're like, no, we're turning. She's like, no, keep going straight. So we get down, and we ask the guy by the cones, who then says, I don't know. And found somebody who kind of knew, so they helped us back in.
I don't think he knew either.
No, well.
Yeah. So she found somebody that stopped in a motorized cart, blocked traffic, stopped us from turning around, and they talked for a while. Yeah. And at some point, the officers kind of shooed him because there was traffic building up. And once he was out of the way, I turned around. So
what we had to do, we had to back into the road we passed and then go back up to the highway. And then we went down.
Followed the GPS.
Followed the GPS. And we went down into the next turn.
Which had FireFly signs.
Which had FireFly signs.
Which also was not FireFly.
And the signs for the infield camping weren't up yet. So we drove all the way around through the Valley's parking lot, all the way around to the back of where we could see the...
We found the FireFly...
We found the concierge.
Like where you pick up your tickets if you're doing will call or whatever.
The guest services.
And ask them.
They didn't know.
Like, it's your festival.
Yep, they didn't know.
Okay.
I just work for the Speedway, they said. But it's the will call for...
Like, you got the radio, though.
Yeah.
Can't you? No.
So, a cookie, your hair. So, we take off from there, turn around this little tiny parking lot, and go to the back of the Speedway where we see some guys. And he's like, nope, can't come in here. We're like, we don't know where to go. And I had saw...
Can you help me?
Yeah.
Please?
And I saw a camper go and turn to the right where we had turned to the left. And so he told us where to go. Yeah. So we turn around and we go back by the will call office, and magically the signs for the RV infield parking are up.
Well, the one was.
The one was. So
Fortunately, if you knew all the secret handshakes from then on out.
Yeah. So we follow that sign and we see gate 7 and we go in. So we go to gate 7, we talk to them, and the guy's like, okay, you're gonna go through this gate. You're gonna go through the second gate and you're gonna turn right. He goes, make sure you stay on the low side. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I was like, is it gonna be a sharp turn? Is it,
And he goes, trust me, stay on the low side.
Okay.
Okay, so off we go, we're driving. And as we're driving, it's like, oh, here's the first gate, there's the second gate. James turns into the second gate, makes the left. We're on the wall of the Speedway. We drove...
On the racetrack.
On the racetrack. On the Monster Mile. We drove on the Monster Mile with Big Daddy's Big Ram attached to our little wolf pup, and you better believe we stayed on the low side of the track.
I was really tempted to see if I could get it up to 80 or 90 and just do one lap.
No!
I thought Mama might make me replace some interior upholstery, so.
But we did. We creeped along. We creeped along.
It was terrifying. Like it felt like, and I know you're not going to, because we saw bigger trailers like Monster, Solitudes, and all these things, and they all made it fine. But man, when you're in it and you're on that angle, you know, it's it's disconcerting when you got the little camper and you're like, is the camper gonna roll over? I hope not.
That's what it felt like. And I mean, it doesn't even project itself into like the image that from filming it. And then we pulled up and they was like, hey, what's your name? And we said, hey, and they said, you go right up here, follow that guy in the golf cart. And they parked us infield camping, full hookups at a music festival.
That was awesome.
And it was amazing. We got the absolute best parking spot that I think you could have gotten, because we were right at the gate where everybody left the infield camping to go under the bridge to go to the music festival. So we get to sit outside and be like, happy FireFly! We became the unofficial greeters of the infield camping.
It was really cool. We met some really cool people.
Met some awesome, the people next to us, all except for one, were from North Carolina.
Yeah.
How small is that world?
And they were awesome.
They were awesome. We met Manny, the concierge people.
So, turns out, they had brought a dog leg but had no extension, and they were the crew, like running, setting up, glamping, and all that stuff. And they'd gotten the tent set up. But they had their own trailers, and they were on the other side of the fence, so they didn't have power poles or anything. So, you know, they're asking along the, you know, hey, can I put a splitter on yours and use your power? And this thing, the thing next to us, I mean, it was a 40-foot fifth wheel with 3 air conditioning units. He's like, no. And I'm like, do you need power? I'm like, because they're not putting anybody in this spot, and I got an extension cord.
So we gave them our extension cord so
and
they could hook up.
They gave us their dog.
Like, not for real, but we got to babysit Manny while they were running around and setting stuff up. They found her on the road when they were working Bonnaroo in Manchester, Tennessee.
And that's where she gets her name.
They named her Manny. She was 6 months old and she was sweet as pie. Yes. And she hung out with us most of Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we saw her quite often they were right behind us on the regular afterwards. And I loved her. And
she would come and hang out.
I threatened many times to bring her home with us. And then starts our adventure at FireFly, which started Thursday with a rainstorm.
Yep.
The winds were terrible.
Yep. Didn't last too long though. The winds were bad.
We had rain, so we went inside and we had our lunch. And we watched a lot of things blow away. Bless their hearts.
Oh, yeah.
But then...
for real tents and whatnot, just up and left.
Yep. But by the evening, that was the afternoon.
Yeah.
By the evening, it was gone. And so off to the festival we went. This was our first FireFly. And it's very quaint. It was a little over a mile to walk there from where we were camping. The venue itself was really small. And it had 4 stages, and then like a couple of like party nooks.
Yeah, like little DJ booths up in the trees and stuff with big lights and all hung on platforms and stuff. The place had a lot of LEDs and set up like that, and I mean, it was really well done. Like, if you ever go to a place and they're like, oh, we're gonna have a light show, and it's like little icicle lights, this wasn't that. This was full-blown lasers coming out of stages, shooting into the trees, and like lighting everything up in dozens of colors with, you know, LED walkways along the way, and it was really incredible. It was a very pretty show.
And so while we were there, we saw Weezer and My Chemical Romance and Gale and Loser.
Oh my gosh.
They were so good.
Best show ever.
We missed Dua Lipa.
Which I was bummed about.
Because it was a storm and they shut down the venue, but then they reopened and everybody went back in. And we saw...
Well, there was like a huge storm that was
Yeah.
like, you know, just skirting, and they didn't know if it was going to hit.
It went south of us.
Half the people were trapped on the other side of the bridge, waiting
Yeah.
to get over. That's crazy.
But there wasn't a lot of like vendor shopping that we're used to. We're used to like tons and tons and tons of vendors. And they had the
There
bazaar.
was a little bit though.
It was a little bit.
Yeah.
There was
Cool Ferris wheel.
there's always a Ferris wheel. There was some food vendors. Nothing crazy. And again, it was just a handful in comparison. But there was like the Good Vibes place, and they had puppies.
And there was a line. There was a tattoo place on one side and puppies on the other side. And the line coming off those two buildings
Yeah.
stretched all the way back to the gate. That's pretty funny.
But
The puppies were cute as hell.
the vibe there
Furry babies.
at FireFly is, as much as I love Bonnaroo, FireFly had something going on that I have never seen, and I really, really enjoyed it. We went to...
So many people in costumes and dressed up and festival clothes and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Speaking of costumes,
Like, everybody was nice.
Big Daddy had a Care Bear suit, and
Only because you bought it.
he wore it around the venue, and he made everybody's festival. I'm not kidding.
There was some dancing.
There was so much dancing.
I think my favorite part, you could barely see out of the thing. You know, so I had my hat on, but this big furry mask thing kept wanting to like pull itself down. So I had my hat on, and that was keeping it off my head, but it was still like right here, so I couldn't see until like I turned to you, and so I'm constantly doing this to make sure I'm not walking into people, and every time I'd turn in a different direction, there'd be somebody smiling before I looked in that direction.
Yeah.
And it's like that. Oh my God, it was such a heartwarming. And everybody with the Care Bear stare, which I apparently did incorrectly, but they didn't care.
Nobody cared.
They were still happy.
Nobody cared because he was freaking pink Care Bear with rainbow and dancing, and it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I got to dance with the what were they? The potties or the?
They were like a aerial gymnastic troupe.
Yeah, and they had this whole like nook set up with, you know, lights and crazy music and stuff, and they're just all day bouncing around.
And they
stuff.
had like ropes that did gymnastics like through the ropes, like.
So I went over there to hang out with one of them.
Yep, that was awesome.
We had a lot of fun. I was leaving. She's like, "Come back," and I'm like, "I can't. I'll have a heart attack."
Yeah, they were.
I gotta go. It's really hot.
Yep. The one thing I like about taking a camper is we did take our own food. We tried to eat festival food. The selection was terrible. This is a real big thumb down for FireFly. They were charging 40% of the. This is hearsay.
This is hearsay. But
They were charging
it's very
40% from the food vendors, and the prices were astronomical. It was, we got a falafel and a lemonade. It was $36. So
Yeah, it was
we
expensive.
did a lot of eating at the camper, which is why you take a camper, so you can get up, have breakfast, go on an excursion, you know, come back, have a snack, go on an excursion. But we did go on an excursion because they had Popeyes.
We did.
And we walked
Extra walking.
we walked out of the venue to, you know, the main drag of Dover, and we went to Popeyes and got something to eat, and then got some to go, and then we went to the liquor store to get some more beer, and then we went to the gas station to get some snacks, and off we went, and it was a blast.
Yep.
But it's like, hey, FireFly, people are walking downtown to go buy food. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
They need to like rethink that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they didn't have a huge selection, but they had some. You know, they had some interesting things I would have tried, but the price was just like...
One beer was $25?
Yeah, yeah. So they well, and to be fair, they did have $10 beers, which
but still.
It's expensive, but it's a festival. It's like, okay, fine, whatever. No renewable cups, so no stainless cups. I love you, Bonnaroo, for that.
Yep. Yeah, you can go
got
to
like 7 of those.
You could go and get the stainless steel refill revolution, and you can go to now that was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
And then you could go to any place that had tap, and you would get a refill at a discount
Without using a plastic cup.
without having to use plastic over and over and over and over and over and over.
Aluminum can.
But now I don't think they can do that because you're slobbering on your cup, and then they're going to refill it and maybe touch the tap. And so pre-COVID, yeah, they would do it. Now I don't know that they would, but still there should be some offering of something that's not freaking plastic.
Well, and they
For
had,
crying out loud.
So the $22 beer was Dogfish.
Dogfish, yeah.
So Dogfish had their own place, and they were the only place that had the IPA. The Kona they had on tap was really good. For $10, like that's what I ended up drinking.
The Kona, yeah, but it was like, you know, there wasn't a big beer selection either.
But the Dogfish, yeah, $22. I'm like,
and he tipped. So, but
okay,
that's
sheer economics of that. If you had
we knew what the
$10,
price
that would've
was
been great.
before we bought it because it was advertised.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like we said,
Wasn't a
"Hey,
surprise. I wanted a good beer."
I'll have that beer," and they said, "Oh, by the way," you know, we knew walking into it.
But there just wasn't a big selection either.
We got to see the SpaceX launch that went up the East Coast.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was what people were like, "Oh my God, you know what that is?"
Like,
yeah.
No, comet, doom, what?
It's cool. It was
Something
cool.
lighting up the sky. That's pretty crazy looking.
But I love how their venue is set up. It's wide open, and they've got what's called the fireworks, the LED lights on stalks all the way through it, so it looks like fireworks are going off continuously.
Well, and fireworks, sometimes some of them look like what was that game with the dial that we used to play as kids? Where like go around the thing, you're going into it.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite games.
It's like, you know, there was kind of that because you could do that with 3D stalks of lights sticking out in every direction, programmable lights. And some looked like you were flying through space.
Tempest.
And Tempest.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there were all these cool, you know, cool different things they did with them. I thought it was really neat.
Well, on the last day we did the drag brunch. And
There were almost no lights going into the campground
no.
on the very rocky uphill, downhill.
Yeah. That would have been nice to have lights out for the walk in the campground. But we did the drag brunch, which was an absolute hoot and a half.
Amazing. Met some amazing people.
Yep. And
Got picked on.
yeah, I got picked on, but Big Daddy always gets picked on. And then we rode the Ferris wheel, and we called it a night.
Yeah.
Because we had to get up early in the morning
To get back.
to come home.
Well, to get to Currituck.
To get to Currituck. So we left FireFly.
But riding the Ferris wheel.
We got to see the whole venue.
At night.
And it was beautiful.
Which was really cool. And we wandered down. Kid Leroy was playing, and they had just gotten off, and it was waiting for
Griffin
that I wanted to say, but he wasn't on, and we were really tired, but neither of us wanted to admit it. It was like the little kid that really needs to go to bed, right? And so we wandered down there, figured we'd hang out and just wait for Griffin to come on. And that's when we heard, who was the DJ? It's Whipped Cream Experience. Yeah, Whipped Cream Experience, I think it was. Freaking fantastic. Coupled with an insane light show. Like the whole stage and everything. And they were standing in the middle of the screen and lasers are firing out. Awesome. Totally awesome.
She was dancing on the top of the DJ booth.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, she was out of control. That was pretty incredible. But we wandered back and we're sitting on these like plastic leaf thingies.
The benches, yeah.
The benches, and you know, I'm just waiting for Dua Lipa, and it's still another hour to go. I'm like, I'd love to see her, but oh my gosh. You know, it's been 4 days of utter madness. So, yeah, we bailed.
We bailed. But we had to get up early.
Didn't feel bad about it.
No. So we got up early, we packed down, we said goodbye to all our new friends.
Yep.
And we drove to...
Said goodbye to Manny.
We said goodbye to Manny. And we drove to Currituck.
Left them our power cord.
Yeah, we did.
Because they were working there, so they're going to be there another 4 days.
But we got to Currituck, and we got set up at the KOA at CoinJock,
yeah.
and very secluded. You go there to get away. It was right on the sound. It was beautiful.
Like don't sleepwalk.
Yeah, but there was nothing
Right.
there. There was absolutely nothing there but the campground. You had to drive 4 or 5 miles to actually kind of get to town.
At 15 miles per hour.
Yeah, but
strictly enforced.
Yeah, strictly enforced.
But
while we were there, we went to Frog Island Seafood Market and Restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay, kids.
Wow.
Now, when I say
seafood.
North Carolina seafood, we each got an appetizer. I got the steamed shrimp. Big Daddy got the
Oysters Casino.
Then I got the flounder and the corn nuggets and the black bean salad.
And I got the special, which was crab cake on top of a bunch of fried shrimp.
Yep.
And hush puppies and something else on the side. French fries.
We got something to eat and it was glorious. And then we went back and we walked down to the Sound and we walked on the golf cart path down by the pier. And then we were in bed by 8:30.
Yep.
And we were up and out and...
Coming home to see our dogs.
Oh, yeah, that was...
Cat.
We got home yesterday and we were very excited to be home and to use our pillows. And...
That was uneventful.
Yeah.
We DoorDashed some Chinese food out in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Should be here by the time we got home.
Yeah, and it was. And we had Chinese food for dinner.
Yep. And got to pet my dogs and sleep in my bed and dream of wonderful nights.
And that was...
Wonderful, cool nights.
Yeah.
Like you, sweatshirt minimum.
Yeah, it was great. Didn't have
Care Bear
to...
costume, excessive.
Yeah. We didn't really run the air hardly at all.
No.
Not till we got to Currituck.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just had the windows open. It was glorious.
Yeah.
And that and a little fan. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So what was your highlight?
I mean, which one?
Okay, then pick 3.
So
Can't pick 1, pick 3.
The whole trip. I mean, there's tons of highlights. You know, the drag brunch. I love the drag brunch just because that's really cool and unique. They're apparently the only music festival in the nation that does that right now, and that should change. So it was really cool. However,
the food was terrible. The food was so bad.
The show was amazing.
Yes.
Thank God.
Yep.
Yeah, they gave you 3 toast points basically, and that was it's like, okay, so I paid for a show.
Yeah, no, you paid for a great show.
Yes,
it was a fun show
and a snack.
That's
it. My Chemical Romance, utterly incredible. I mean, that was one of the best performances I've ever seen in my life. That band is so tight, just unbelievable, and they were really cool. Apparently, there was a false leg getting passed around. I'm not sure. I haven't dug into it yet as to why it was being passed around. If it was like a totem or something else.
It had a straw in it, like it was a giant.
It had a straw on the bottom of the foot, so.
Was it a
something? But
giant cup.
Apparently, all the bands signed it, and My Chemical Romance, they brought it up on stage.
Yeah.
And he didn't miss a beat. He's like, "You'll get this after the class."
Yeah.
He's like, "We're doing our show first."
Okay.
That's right.
Brunch.
Yep, drag brunch, My Chemical Romance. I mean, just the people. There were so many really, I didn't meet a mean or angry or pushy person there at all. Not one.
There was not.
Not one.
There was not.
Everybody was nice, and everybody in the campsite was like super courteous.
If you needed something, they gave it to you.
Yeah,
if
bend
they
over backwards.
thought you needed something, they would ask you, "Hey, I have this. Do you need it?" Like,
come over and invite you to stuff, and that's you know, one of the things when you go to music festivals, you have all these plans. Don't. You know,
you live in the moment.
That's it. Go and see some stuff, but if you get invited to some stuff, go do that too. You know, we met some really cool guys who brought a pool.
Yeah.
And apparently they are mummers from Philly.
Yes, and that's a thing.
That's a thing.
It's a dress, and
like crazy costumes, Mardi Gras thing out
Yeah.
in Philly. Who knew?
They were so much fun.
They were super awesome. The neighbors, you know, on the other side of us, had all these beer games, and
I keep stepping in her food bowl. Whoops.
and they were making grilled cheese sandwiches, and I had to turn off their propane so they didn't blow us all up.
Yeah, they forgot to shut off the propane, and we came back to their alarm going off. We tried to get in their camper.
Skunk oil in the air, heavy in the air. I'm like,
thank God the compartment where the
wasn't locked.
Yeah, where the propane wasn't locked. So we cut that off, and we put a note on on the door for them. They was like the next morning, "Thanks for saving us from blowing up."
Happy to help.
Oh, they were cute.
And then there was the other folks in the tent on the other side of the gate. They were super sweet.
Yep.
You know, and we just wandered around looking at RVs one night because it's kind of a cool thing to do. And there were some really nice ones there. And everybody we walked by is like, "Oh, hi, yeah," you know, happy to talk about it, happy to just talk, or you know, whatever. That one group, you know, invited us in to have whatever their chowder.
Cincinnati chili.
Cincinnati. I'm not sure what that's.
Yeah, it's good.
For, but
nope, it's not. Don't go there.
Something.
It's not.
They were super awesome.
You're on like 12 things now. I just asked for 3.
Well, that's why I'm saying.
Okay, so we can't.
You can't just pick 3. The ride. So at some point, like we started the week out, you know, down in Rehoboth, doing like 1.5 miles, 2 miles, you know, real light walking. By the time we got into FireFly, it started at 6.5 miles and went up from there. Every day got more.
Oh, we lost weight. We came home. We lost weight on vacation.
Yep. Partying.
There was a lot of beer. And a lot of food, a lot of snacks.
Yes.
Like we had Oreos and powdered donuts, and we don't eat that. We don't eat that. And
I've been trying to lose that last 5 pounds for
and
the
he
last
lost it.
like 4 weeks before the festival, and blew right through that.
Yep. Yeah, we lost weight on vacation. Nobody does that. Well, I mean, I'm sure.
And dancing.
Oh, so much dancing.
My Care Bear costume. Let's use the word moist. Yeah. And everybody's like, "Can I hug you?" I'm like,
"Oh, it was slick.
If you want."
It was slick. Oh. My 3 was the Care Bear. Because Big Daddy doesn't do that. Big Daddy doesn't wear costumes and jump around and act a fool. He doesn't. Normally it's me.
Got stuff going on?
No, I'm saying when we go out and do stuff.
Right.
He doesn't do that. I'm the one. And he got to do it. And I just walked around in the background and just filmed him. And so much fun.
We had a good time.
Just kind of Delaware in general.
Delaware was awesome.
Like,
yep.
Really, Delaware in general is a beautiful, beautiful state.
Rehoboth, pretty cool.
And then my 3rd was getting you out of the house for a full week.
Yeah. Now, just going to sleep and not thinking about what I got to do tomorrow. That's probably number 1.
Yeah, we slept pretty hard.
Yeah.
We slept pretty good because we didn't have to get up if we didn't want to. Yeah. We still did get up, but we could go back to sleep if we wanted to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah. So that's our vacation, and as promised, I was going to share it with you. This week I am getting ready for Shikori, and I'm going to drag you with me through that. Because I'm going to drag you to Shikori with me. Shikori Grassroots is a music festival in Pittsburgh, North Carolina. And it's going to be October 6th through the 9th. Big Daddy's going to take a couple days off, come out, hang out with me. And I'm going to be selling tie-dye out there. So I got a big stack. This is what I've got going on. And as I get through it this week, I'll compilate it and drop it next week. And then while I'm at Shikori, I'll wander around and get footage. I don't know. It's going to be chilly. Maybe we'll bust out the Care Bear. Big Daddy can walk around Shikori as a Care Bear. And we can do it all again.
Yeah, we're going to hose down the Care Bear.
I got to take it to the cleaners. But anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, you know the spiel. Please like and subscribe. I'll make sure I put this in a playlist so it's easier for you to find. A channel's loaded with content. It's mostly tie-dyeing and jewelry and crocheting, and there's a little bit of travel. There's a little bit of Big Daddy. Everybody loves when Big Daddy makes an appearance. Some spirituality, who knows? I just living my life and taking you along with me, and I'm thrilled that you like to come along. So that's what we did. Remember, be peaceful, be kind. It's important. Go somewhere you've never gone. Try a new experience that you've never done. Who knows? You might like it. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Big Daddy. Shut up, cooks.
Is
it better?
Now it looks like we're on a ship.
It's better. Yeah? Shut up.
What's up, cooks?
What's up, Cookinator?